Monica Faith Stewart is chairperson of the Democrats Abroad. Monica, good evening to you. Thank you very much for coming in. I'd like your comment, first of all, on this advert that has been running, that was put on air by the National Rifle Association or the Gun Owners Association, that the White House is calling repugnant.
Well, I would agree with the White House because it makes it appear as if the president would allow special privileges and protections for his children, while the children and school children in America in general don't have the same. But that's not really the issue. The head of state in any nation receives special protection, as does his or her family. But the real issue is, are we going to have armed weapons and armed guards in a school when we are facing problems, even in the U.S., with having money for art, music, books, teachers? And then what does that say about the climate, that you have to have armed guards in schools?
Well, what about the argument, Monica, that the shooting we saw in Connecticut last month could have been avoided if there'd been an armed guard on duty?
Well, I think that's a specious one. First of all, there have been shootings in schools where there is an armed guard because schools have different entrances and exits, and that perhaps it simply isn't feasible. But I think more to the point is, what kind of society do we have where guns are so easily available, where one can purchase a handgun or an assault weapon without any kind of background check, where if people do have emotional and mental health issues, there isn't access to health care.
If we look at that Newtown case, though, Monica, I mean, the way the assailant got hold of that weapon was, we know he had a history of mental illness, but his mother didn't, and basically that was how he got hold of that weapon. So it's not really a foolproof plan, is it?
I don't think there is a foolproof plan, but we certainly have to do something. Like the president, I'm from Chicago. Chicago alone, in a 10-year period, we lost 5,000 people to gun violence, whereas in Afghanistan, 2,000 troops died in that same period. So what does that say? The president has to do something. I remember a few years back, a friend of mine lost her only son to gun violence. He was coming home and was attacked, shot dead, and then the state senator or Senator Obama said, we have to do something. We cannot stand by and let people get shot willy-nilly the way that's going. I am not saying that there is a panacea, there is a perfect plan, but we certainly can expect to reduce the number of deaths by reducing access to guns. And if we go back to what happened in Newtown, do we expect the principal to be carrying a gun? Do we expect, what are we going to do? Now, the NRA has said they are arming up for the fight of the century. And I really think that, that it's going to be an issue where Americans who are fed up are going to have to voice that. And they're doing that. They're sending petitions to the White House. I think that people have had enough.
Monica Stewart, thanks very much for joining us. Monica Faith Stewart is chairperson of Democrats Abroad, South Africa.